Hey everybody, it's Friday. So this is our last recorded video. So we are going to focus on twist today. So my plan was to do a restorative practice, but it's just a little bit hard with only having a very limited amount of time. So we're going to do some twisting today just so you guys can get the feel for it. Twists are fabulous for many, many reasons. If you think about your midsection, your belly sort of being like a wet washcloth, we want to think about kind of wringing that wet washcloth out. So you want to think about your midsection kind of doing that same action. What that does, besides opening the low back, it helps to kind of squeeze and compress our internal organs so that when you come out of the twist, you're releasing all this fresh oxygenated blood back into the body, which helps to flush out anything negative or anything that is kind of lingering in the body that's not really good for us. Is it going to really eliminate a ton of toxins? Probably not just today, but if you continue to do it over time, you will start to recognize you're feeling a little bit better. These are also really great coming into this time of year, the holiday season. We tend to overeat a little bit, or at least eat more than things that we're not really used to. So when we have those things in our system, our bellies can sometimes react to that. And one person that can attest to that, like my body's changed a lot here in this last year or so. I can't have like Cheez-Its were like my favorite thing. I can no longer eat those without getting a super upset stomach, and certain kinds of breads. So I'm at least aware of these things that I can no longer have. So we're going to work into that today. It's going to be an easy practice, so it won't be restorative, but it will still be an easier flow. So we'll come down to our backs like we have been the last few days. You don't need any props today, just your body. So at this point, you've gotten a few options for how to meet me on the mat. So if you feel good, you'll come into a Shavasana. This is your corpse pose. Okay, if you have a tight low back, bending knees, planting feet as if you were going into bridge, heel toe the feet out one time and let your inner knees come into tap. You could also come into a butterfly pose if that feels good for you, or of course you can go into restorative bridge. Today I'm going to just come in with my feet a little wider than hips and my inner thighs touching. And then today I'm going to say turn your palms face down and close your eyes. So the reason we have the hands flat to the mat today is for grounding purposes only. So in our lives, as we become a little bit busier, we either go one of two ways. We either go overwhelmed, can't focus on anything, head in the clouds, just trying to survive. Or we are completely bogged down with our to-do list and we can think of absolutely nothing more than our workload. And so we're super hyper-focused on our to-dos. When we are in that state, which I'm just kind of throwing it out there, may be where we are today, we want to place our palms flat for grounding purposes, meaning we want to feel this connection to the time and space that we're actually in. When we turn the palms up, and anatomically speaking, it opens the chest muscles. Spiritually, in the yoga world speaking, we turn the palms up when we feel like we need to receive or get back from the universe. So for me, I'm somebody that gives a lot. I have jobs that require me to continue to give of my energy, my time. That's fine. I love that. It fills my cup. But occasionally, it overwhelms me and I feel drained. So those are the days that I need to kind of turn my palms to the sky and receive some of the goodness back to me. So from this place, hands are flat. Just take a moment to feel the earth or your yoga mat beneath your hands. What is the texture of your carpet, the floor, your mat? Is it rough or smooth? Is it cold or warm? And then what about your feet? If your feet are planted or the backs of your heels are on the floor, are they on your mat? Are they on the ground? Notice. So taking some time to just kind of be present. Closed eyes will take out our vision so that we have to focus more on our other senses. We'll just take one more breath here. And then you can float your eyelids open, just blink them a little bit. Let's situate the feet so that knees are coming into the chest, and we'll come into our Apanasana. So full Apanasana, both knees in, hugging your thighs into the belly, getting that slight compression. Remember, the compression is going to help release new blood and stuff into the body when we release it. Now, keep your knees as they are. Take your arms out wide, palms up, and you're going to let the knees drop to the right. Let them move to the right now. Your both shoulders should stay on the mat. Your nose can be pointed straight up to the ceiling, or we'll take the nose towards the left shoulder. Here, we'll close the eyes and think of your midsection like that wet washcloth. So are you contracting your muscles slightly, or are they kind of hanging out? You want to draw them in and draw them up. Some of you may start to feel like a little gurgling in your belly, totally normal. That's exactly what's happening when we come into these twists. We're kind of moving some stuff around inside. All right, so nose rolls back into the center if it's turned to the left. Pressing into your shoulder blades, you're going to bend your elbows. Press your triceps into the floor. Make 2 fists with each hand. Squeeze your inner thighs together. That'll fire up your abs. You're going to push into the backs of your arms. Hug the knees back to center. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, draw them over to the left this time. Once they get where you want them to, release your fists. Let the arms come out wide. Right shoulder stays on the mat, and eye gaze will drift to the right side. I always like to close my eyes here. There's just something very relaxing about being in this position and having my eyes closed. It just makes me feel like I'm kind of giving myself a hug. Just a few breaths. Keep the belly contracted. Not forcing a ton of contraction here, but enough that you feel safe in that low back. And then our eyes can drift to the right shoulder if that feels good. Good. Let's go ahead and come back to center. Knees to the chest, hands behind your thighs. We're going to rock and roll like we have been a couple of times until you can come all the way up to sitting. We're going to fire in the belly for a little bit here. So you're going to learn a new pose. This is called Navasana, or your goat pose. So walk your feet in. Your hands are going to come behind your thighs. Heels are going to be lifted. Pretend your back is up against a wall. So if you're rocked back onto your lower back and you're rounding in, pretend like somebody just comes up behind you and forces you to sit straight up. Roll your shoulders back and down. My level 1 people, if your abs are a little bit on the weaker side, you're going to let your big toes stay on the floor. Next stop is to float your feet so that you're kind of in a little bit of a 90-ish degree angle here, and those more like 45, but your knees are lifted. You can release the hands. That's the next stop. Okay. So from here, if you've got your hands released, you're going to bring them into a little wrap here with your knuckles, and you're going to twist towards the left. Think about a Russian twist with Mr. Gogage. Inhale, center. Exhale, you're going to twist to the right. If you get your elbow down, great. That doesn't mean anything if you do. Come back to center. 2 more, both directions. So we'll take 1 here, really twist your belly. Inhale, center, go slow. Exhale, right. Center. 1 more time. If you're starting to shake, that's good. You can always put your toes back on the mat if you need to. 1 more time. Inhale, center. Lift your elbows by your ears. Cross your right ankle over your left. And fold over your shin bone. Just a nice little way to fire up the tummy. Continue to roll over onto all fours, and we're going to come right into our plank pose. So step your feet back, curl your toes under, lift the backs of your legs up, separate your shoulder blades like angry cat here. Big breath in, full breath out. Downward facing dog. Lift those hips, bend your knees, spread your fingers, and press your belly back towards your thighs. We're going to lift the right leg nice and high. You're going to pull your knee to your chest without moving your upper body. Then shift into a high plank with your knees still at your heart. Flex your right foot and step it up between your hands. Left hand is going to stay on the ground. Left knee will lower. Flatten the left toes. Lift your right arm. So we're twisting in towards that inner right thigh. Watch how much pressure you're putting on that left shoulder. So rather than just push down, I want you to think about flames on your yoga mat, trying to lick your armpits. I know that's weird, but it works. Keep turning your heart to your inner thigh and keep working your knee towards your chest. On your next out breath, you're going to bring your right hand to the inside of the right leg like we did yesterday. This time we're not staying though. You're going to lift your left arm a little bit. This is what we call an open twist. So when your heart is opening away from your leg, that's open. When it's opening towards your leg, it's closed. Good. Left hand down, curl the left toes, lift that knee, spin the back heel down, warrior 2. Come on up. Good job. All right, spread your wings. Looking over that front fingertip area. Just good. You're gonna learn another new posture. So you're gonna bring your hands to your hips. You're gonna pick up your back heel, turn everything to face the front of your mat. From here, you're gonna bring your hands to prayer. Let me turn to face you so you can kind of see what's going on. Notice how wide apart my feet are, so this left hip can come forward. You're gonna take a big breath in, twist to the right, and then come back. We're gonna do it again. Twist over the right side, come back. Feel that happening here in your belly. Twist to the right, stay here, separate your arms. Good. Lift your left arm up, your right arm goes down the back leg. Good. Left hand down, right arm up, full twist. You can hear my ujjayi breathing, sounds a little bit like a growl or snore. One more. Right hand down to the inside of the right foot, step that right leg back, high plank, downward facing dog. One breath in, and a full breath out. Left leg lifts, knee to the chest. Flex the foot, look forward, move to high plank, and then step the left foot on up. Right knee down, right toes flat, right hand on ground. We'll take that twist. So again, you just want to make sure you're not kind of dumping into that bottom arm. Lift up, reach your hand to the sky. Pull back just a little bit so you can see that turn my chest towards my inner thigh, and that knee is staying strong by the leg. Good. One more breath. Hand down, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, warrior two. I just need to turn so I can still be seen, so you're not looking at my high knee. Okay, warrior two, left leg in the lead. Heel to arch alignment, inner thigh spins out so you can see that left big toe, just hold here. Make sure you're driving your right heel into the floor. So you're feeling really grounded, down from the bottom, really lifted through the top, arms are floating, big breath in. Full breath out. Hands to the hips. We're going to turn everything to face the left. Lift your left heel. Good. Maybe separate your feet a little bit wider. Okay, we're going to bring hands to prayer. Inhale here. Exhale, turn to the left thigh. Inhale, center. You got two more. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. We're going to hold this one. Exhale, turn left. Reach your arms away from each other. Right arm will go up, left one will go down. It's tougher than it looks. Revolve, twisted, sun, warrior. Now, right hand will come down to the floor to the inside of that left foot. Lift the left arm. You might even want to pull back just slightly so that you're getting a little bit more twist. Remember, your belly is like that wet washcloth. On your next out breath, let the left hand come down to the ground inside the left foot. Right knee down, uncurl the right toes. That left shoulder and knee together as you lift your right arm, open your twist. And lower that hand down. All you're going to do is start to shift back towards your right heel, and then let your left knee come back to meet the right. Sitting flat onto your bottom, legs are going to come out straight. Okay, seated twist, and then we'll kind of wrap it up for today. So you're going to bend your right knee, foot will come in flat, pull that knee in pretty close to your upper body, as close as you can. Now from here, you're going to step that right foot over your left thigh. When people do this, I see this foot floppy, hanging off the edge like a cliffhanger. What you need you to do instead is stand that right foot flat on the floor, point the right knee to the sky, and flex your left ankle so the toes come back to the nose. Hands come by your hips, sit tall. All you're going to do is take your left arm, give your right knee a hug. Your right hand is right behind you, so you're not way back here, right? You are really tall. This right arm is almost like another spine or a wall behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn. Every time you breathe in, you get taller. Every time you breathe out, you look a little further over the right shoulder. We'll take 3 more. Last one. unravel. So you're just going to turn back to the front, take your arm off, right arm inside the right thigh, push into your right foot, let it be grounded so that when you push your elbow into your leg, that right knee doesn't open out to the side. So you're going to push knee into arm and arm into knee. Come back to center, move that right foot inside of your left thigh. Okay, arms are going to come up and overhead. You're going to slight turn over that long leg, come down. What do I do with my hands, Mrs. Cousteau? Well, you got a few things that you could do. If you are having a hard time here, then just keep your hands a little bit more under your shoulder. This is all about your hamstring. So getting your nose to your knee is really never, ever advised in yoga. So we kind of come up with these other cues. So at the top of the chest, reach this forward, and then you should feel that stretch in the back of your hamstring rather than just doing this thing where we kind of tuck in. And yeah, I feel a little stretch in my hammy, but for the most part, I don't feel a whole lot except for my shoulders crunching up to my ears. So chest forward. You want to be under shoulders. We can be a little lifted. We can come all the way up. Get some freedom here. One more breath. Come on up. Take your left leg out to the side. Keep your right foot where it is. So we've got this little alleyway here, and kind of on almost like a half V shape. You're going to take your left elbow and put it on your left thigh. You're going to make a fist with your left hand. You can also use a block here for this one, but for today, I'm just going to offer up this option just so you can see it. You can let your head rest on your fingers, on your knuckles, or right here on your fingertips. So we're going to sweep the right arm up and overhead and reach it over your ear. Start to turn towards your right armpit with your upper body. Can you get your right ribs away from the right hip crease? And then we're going to come into open gate latch pose. This is actually not really a yoga pose, but it's done a lot in yoga classes. You're going to point your left toes. Your right hand will come next to your right hip. You're going to lift your left arm and then lift your hips off the floor. My left big toes are on the mat. And I'm pressing my hips forward and my eyes are moving towards my right fingernails. And it just lengthens the front of that left hip. Come on back down with your booty. We're going to switch to the other side. So bring your right leg straight this time. Hug the left foot in. Cross it over. Remember, the whole foot is flat. The knee is lifted. Right toes pull back to the nose. Big breath in, get long. Exhale, you're going to hug that right arm around the left thigh. Remember, keep your left hand in very close so you're lifted and lengthened. Exhale as you twist. You got a couple more. Inhale for length. Rotate and look back. 2 more. Last one here. Good. Go ahead and unravel. You're going to come back to center. Uncross the left leg, but just let that foot come to the inside of the right inner thigh. Arms up. Little turn over the extended leg. Come on down. So remember, there should never be pain in yoga. There's a difference between something that's uncomfortable and something that's actually painful. So if something's uncomfortable, well, then we have to persevere, push through. Okay, but if it's painful, there'd be like a sharp shooting pain, you'll know it. So sometimes, kind of just push through, persevere. It's a good life lesson. Other times, we need to know when to back off. This is why yoga is so important. Teaching us how to figure out when. Go ahead and rise up slowly. You're just going to extend that right leg out a little bit to the side, keeping the foot flexed. Right elbow comes to the right leg. You can let your head rest, knuckles, fingertips, whatever works. Left arm lifts like you're reaching to touch the ceiling. Get long first, and then this side reach over the head will be a little easier. Now, try to open your chest and peek up under that left armpit so you're keeping the stretch activated. And then we'll get into that open gate latch and move into our relaxation and meditation. Left arm reaches up like there's a rope from the ceiling. Grab it, lift yourself out of the pose. Left hand by the left hip, pointing right toes. Spin your arm up and then lift your hips away from the floor. Eyes can be up at that right hand or down to the left. One side I like to look up, the other side it feels better to look down. So you may need to modify that as well. Go ahead and lower the hips. Turn yourself so that you can lay all the way down and roll back. Knees to chest, we're gonna go happy baby again. So flexing the feet, remember tailbone has to come back down. So as long as it returns to the mat, you can have your hands on your feet. If you need to modify ankles or back to the hamstrings, you might want a little rocky poo. And we'll just stay here, one more breath. Gather the knees back into the chest. You don't need to squeeze this time, just let the feet fall to the mat, and then adjust for your final Shavasana. So because it's the end of the week, separate your feet a little wider, take up more space in your space. So if you're in school, you've got probably a ton of room. Let your arms be wide, take your feet out a little wide, let your feet flop out to the side. If you're home, same thing. You could even get in bed if you wanted to do this, if you don't have another class afterwards because you want to stay like awake. So for now, we'll just settle into your Shavasana or cross. So I'm going to ask you again to kind of recognize the points of contact that your body is making with the mat, the floor, and anything around you. Taking some time to feel different textures. Taking the time to notice how your body feels now compared to when you first got on the mat. Can you deepen your breath a little bit more and really begin to hone in on certain things that you don't typically observe while you're just living your life, breathing like you normally do. Notice where the breath comes into the body, probably through the nostrils, and out through the body, probably through the mouth or the nose. The thing about the out breath is it's warm. So if you notice that, kind of bring your hand in front of your face. Inhale here. Exhale out. You'll feel a little bit of that heat. You can go ahead and move your hand back and away. So like that tapas we talked about last week, releasing heat from the body also releases toxins from the body as well. And after this twisting practice today, you may notice some things might be a little different. Some people discuss having like an easier trip to the bathroom, shall we say. So those are all really normal. Rest here for a moment. And begin to take in the sounds, the smells, the things around you. Can you let go any place new? Keep your mind focused on this moment. I know it can be difficult. I know it can seem a little hokey, but really honing in on the moment that you're living is a true gift. Stay as you are, but just start to kind of become a little bit more aware of your body. Maybe wiggle your toes and fingers a little bit. You might feel some snap, crackly pops coming through the knuckles of the feet and the hands. You can circle your wrists, your ankles. Just reawaken things from the bottom of your extremities all the way into the core. So we'll walk the feet back in together. We'll take the arms overhead, interlacing the hands or creating butterfly wings like we did the other day. You can get that stretch through again. So a little arch in the lower back is okay here. And then depending on what's next for you, you'll either roll to the right side if you have an easy, gentle afternoon, or you'll roll to the left if you still have classes and homework and all that good stuff. Wherever you go, you're going to keep the eyes closed, trying not to rush, and let your arms support your head. So you've got a built-in pillow for yourself. We'll keep the eyes closed, press into the free hand. We'll come to Sukhasana or easy seat. So just crisscross applesauce. Let's sit here for a moment. Keep the eyes closed, root down through your sits bones and lengthen through the crown of your head. When I was growing up, there was a movie called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And although I was a little young for when it was popular, I found that it is very, very appropriate for where we are now. And one of the things that Ferris says in the movie is life moves pretty fast. If we don't stop and look around, we might miss it. So as you move through this weekend, I want to encourage you to slow down. Take some time to look around and take it all in. Noticing colors and shapes and smells and sounds. Try to live in the moment rather than thinking about what's coming next. Hands to prayer, feeling the warmth between palm to palm, thumbs to heart. Take a moment to bow the forehead toward your fingertips. Thank you all so much for this week. Love, light, and joy. As we say, namaste. All right, my friends, I can't wait to be in school with you next week doing this live. Any questions, please feel free to hit me up. I'll be in the mountains, but I can probably answer your emails. So hopefully I will hear from you soon or see you soon. All right.